All right, everyone. Sorry about that. We're back with the bros. We're doing some more training today. I'm taking over. You guys have been fooling around this whole time. No, I'm just kidding. How's it been going, guys? How's your training been doing?
It's been good. Rating wise, it hasn't. I think that I've been absorbing a lot of knowledge, and it just kind of all needs to go together, and it's gonna eventually happen.
Yeah, Charlie. What about for you? What's your chess like?
I think my chess is actually really improving a lot. It's just not necessarily showing up in my rating, but it's showing up in my puzzle rating, in my when I wear my headphones, it's hard for me to talk. My visualization skills have dramatically improved. I can 100% notice that. Yeah, I'm just a pitcher, so it's not as laggy. And that's not actually the picture I thought he was going to put. That was in the summer, or when I was in Saudi still. So that is actually only a few years old. So yeah, I'm improving, but what happens before I drastically improve is the rating seems to go down 100 points, but then it bounces back faster and I go over a high. But it always seems to have to sink first before it goes up. It's really interesting.
Yeah, chess improvement is hard, and yeah, like I was telling you, you shouldn't worry about your rating too much as long as you feel like you're getting better and you believe that what you're doing is making you a better player. I think that's more important than, because the rating doesn't really go up steadily. I think for most people, it's not like you study for a week, you go up 10 points. You study for another week, you get another 10 points. I don't know anyone that it's worked like that for almost anyone I've seen making huge progress. It's they were studying for a while and then they had 3 good tournaments in a row and then they gained 150 points. And that's how it happens for all these kids that are improving really quickly. They just kind of just study for a bit and then all of a sudden they're playing at a completely different level. So it's good. It's good that you're feeling good about your chess. I think that's very important. And yeah, it's also important just to enjoy just studying the game and looking at it. So I'm gonna give you guys a couple warm-up puzzles, and then I'll have you do a specific exercise.
Mitch, I don't think that's accurate information.
Let's see. Let me put it on the board, and yeah, how should we do this? Let me have you guys. Let me have you guys take your headphones out while you're solving.
Okay, cool.
All right, and then.
See a puzzle. I heard you click it. Do you see it?
No, not yet. One sec. I'm gonna put it in.
Okay.
Hold on.
Don't say anything out loud.
I feel like he took off the headphones before he heard the instructions. Charlie, you're still there.
Yes, because you didn't finish the instructions.
Yeah, very good.
And I'm an educator.
So
I know how annoying that is.
Should I?
Yes. Yeah.
Just solve?
White. So white to play. White to play and win.
Okay.
And
he needs more soap.
Let me have you guys come back in 3 minutes and we'll discuss.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
All
right, you can go now, Charlie.
Rock and roll, let's go.
All right, and you guys in the chat, you guys can try to solve as well.
Move my headphones further away.
Yeah, white to play here and win. And so I'm asking these guys to calculate a couple moves, because that's going to be a more than one move solution here, of course. And just kind of quick warm up, just get the brain going, practice moving the pawns in your head and where the pawns go and what squares they now attack and where the other pieces have to go. So yeah, looking to calculate multiple moves here. So the way to kind of think about this puzzle is you come up with a move, and then you have to think about what black is going to do in response. A lot of people don't like doing this part, but you got to think about what the opponent is going to do. And then you got to find your moves in response to the opponent's moves. So that's going to be very important here. So you got to calculate your move first, then the opponent's response. Maybe they have multiple responses. And then you got to look at your moves beyond that. So it's very important to look at more than one move at a time in chess. I think it's actually quite critical. All right, let's see where these guys are at. I think Scotty's okay, writing something down. Yeah, so we'll see how these guys do it. Charlie whispering his solution.
According to my clock, we got 1 more minute left.
Cool. 1 more minute. So Cyan, maybe you have got to try to find one more move for black there at the end of that line.
Hello, Charlie Silver's headphones are on.
Hey.
Yes, I am diligent looking at the time
Are you
to come back at third time.
Are you ready, Charlie?
I can say what I thought, but I didn't finish, but I think I have the right concept, if that makes any sense.
Hey, I'm sorry. So how far did you want us to calculate? To solve or what?
Yeah, I wanted you guys to solve it. Exactly. I mean, if you can. If not, it's okay.
Okay.
He had faith in us.
No, I mean, it's not that. It's like I'm writing it down, and it's taking a while.
Well, let's discuss. Let me hear from Charlie first, then we'll see.
I think actually so my first instinct I think was wrong. So my second instinct was actually more to not check the king right away, but actually to try to over time trap him. So I think G7 is first, and you're threatening the knight, and the king can't take because it's defended. So knight then goes to E6, and then king can go to E7, your king, and threatening the knight again, and then slowly you put up the pawns to surround the king or promote. Or that's as far as I got. And the knight would go away too. Obviously, it's not going to want to be taken.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
Okay. So let's look at your line, Charlie. So let's say we push G7. You said black goes knight E6.
Then knight E6.
Yeah,
Yep.
king E7.
And then you go, I think, yes.
Okay, so now put yourself in black's shoes. You know, you're trying to hold the draw here. What move do you think you might consider as black?
I would say his options are either to go back or go to G5, knight G5. Or I think king to H7 is a mistake. Unless he takes away the pawn, but then you can promote. So yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Well, knight is hanging,
hold
right?
the draw too. Yes. So knight G5.
Okay, knight G5. What about more forcing? What's the most forcing move here?
Most forcing move would probably just to take the pawn.
Yeah, that's only forcing move, right? It's just this one capture we have, yeah? But very important to consider, because what happens here? Knight takes.
Knight takes, pawn takes, king takes.
And
then you have to get basically ahead of your pawn on white to be able to promote it.
Yeah, so what's the evaluation there? Is white winning that or no? Try to calculate it out. So black's king is on G7, right?
Yep. So I have to start from the beginning. Knight goes to G7, pawn takes, king takes. They're horizontal from each other, so the king can't go to F file. He has to go down. So it's king E6. Oh, I actually think it's going to be a draw because the black king is on the same lane. and there'll be squares apart that he can never like cut in line.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
So-
you're explaining it. Basically, black is just taking the pawn, right? Like, we're just going king g5, takes, and nothing white can do,
Yeah,
right?
and then it's king. Yeah. You can't cross over the F file
Okay,
because they're like basically side by side the whole time.
right. Okay, exactly. Yeah, so actually black can survive by giving back the knight and then reaching this king and pawn endgame where white's king is misplaced. You're saying king needs to be in front of the pawn.
Yeah. But he can't get there
Yeah.
because the opposition on this I don't know how to call it, horizontal, and the pawns in that lane.
I would call
so we
this
can't
one,
get
I would
over
say
there.
maybe this, we can call it shouldering, when the kings are kind of taking squares away from each other. Here,
You
black's
might have
king
read
is
that in a
kind of...
chess book, huh?
I might have read that in a chess book, exactly. So,
I'm happy though I saw it though. I visualized it like
yeah.
once you led me to the right thing, I got to
No,
visualize
but that's the thing, is that you're capable of seeing like this whole thing, like kind of 4-move calculation, and you have to evaluate this king and pawn endgame, and I think you're capable. And like you mentioned, okay, yeah, if white could just play king g5 in one move, then
it. In one move, yeah.
then white would be winning here, taking the opposition. And well, we practiced this one out a couple times ago,
Yeah.
so hopefully you guys remember. Okay,
Yes.
so g7 knight e6, black is threatening to take. Let's just finish analyzing this line. Is there anything white can do to prevent this or change something about this?
Put in check.
Okay, we can try
Check,
h7 check. I
by-
mean, most forcing move, right? Might as well try it. So how should black
Yeah.
proceed here?
Take king take out h7.
Okay.
But then you promote. He can take back anyways. So
Maybe we'll try king f7, but then just knight takes pawn is good.
yeah, it's your. Oh, but could you get to protect your G file in time? No.
Well, if black gets to keep the knight, then yeah, the g pawn
Oh, you're losing anyways.
won't be enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, black should be able to hold this one easily. So knight e6. Okay, once again, yeah, we have this threat. Knight takes g7. We already tried this move. We tried this move. So we can try g5 here, just to see
But
if
couldn't
it
the knight just take?
changes
I don't
something.
think it changes. I don't think it changes anything.
Yeah, knight can take, and I think black is okay. We can also maybe think about just taking on g7 anyway with the same idea if we wanted to just force.
That's what I was thinking.
Force the draw. Okay, cool. So yeah, g7 knight e6, and black is surviving this one. Scott, did you have
probably wrong from the
something?
beginning.
Yeah, g7 knight e6 now not working, but okay, it's nice to analyze why, right? Like kind of helpful
My
for
first
these kinds
instinct
of
was right
endgames.
then. Jeez.
And sorry, my other kid had an emergency.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
He had he shoved the cord curl up his nose, and I need to go pick. Well, my wife is gonna go pick him up. So now I need to take care of this one.
Oh, I
Hey,
see.
look.
Aw.
We give it Charlie instead of, the whole baby thing.
So cute.
All right. In this, so what I was thinking, and I didn't calculate all the lines, but I thought h7 was gonna work. I didn't like
So good.
g7. I kind of calculated g7 out really quickly, and I just didn't like where any of those lines were going. So I kind of just went, all right, h7.
Okay.
And h7, I saw 3 possible moves. One of which was king h8,
Mm-hmm.
king g7, and knight takes h7.
Okay.
So the cool thing is, if knight takes h7, the pawn can take,
Yeah.
and then you can get in there to protect the pawn to its promotion square, I believe.
Wait. So king takes
two.
h7, and then
King takes h7. Oh, king takes h7. Oh, that's the line I was still working out. But if king takes h7, Wait, no, king can't take h7. Oh wait, oh, king takes h7, king f7, and then you can protect the pawn on its way up, I believe.
Yeah. Let's just put that on the board. h7 if black sacks. So this may be most forcing move. Like we should check first. Takes. Here white gets king f7, and here it's totally different story.
Yeah, can you give me a second? I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah. You're good. Charlie, you still there?
Yeah, I'm just wondering why I didn't trust like my first like to me like you try to like I was like coach is tricking us. The most noob assumption would just be to do this, so it's probably the other way. And now I'm like that piece of crap. I was wrong the whole time. I should have just gone with my initial instinct.
Yeah. No, I mean if anything, I think to me g7 feels like the I don't know, like the instinct move, the blitz move.
Really? I would assume it was always just put a check in.
I don't know. Maybe it looks different to different players, but yeah, if you just show me this position, I don't know. First instinct, g7 or h7, like I'm really not sure what I would say. And like if I had 1 second to make a move here, I have no idea. It would be random. But yeah, I'm not trying to just like trick you. I'm just trying to give you like puzzles to like think about.
No, it's fun. Because in my mind, right, the fact that I was able to,
all right, everyone,
just see deep, it's good. Like visualization is a huge thing I'm trying to work on. So
he sneezed and it came out. We're good.
Oh, nice.
Right, so where were we? What ended up happening with that line? We won, right?
h7. Yeah, we were just looking at the knight sack, king takes, king f7, and then white just wants to advance the pawn. Yeah. Let's just see how this one plays out. So king h6, and then
king f6.
King f6. Okay, I go back.
You can push. Push the pawn.
Okay, let's say I go here.
G6.
Yes, opposition.
King G6.
King G6. Okay,
let's
say
opposition.
We go here.
G7. King G7.
You can't do that, Scotty.
King F7. Sorry. And then
it's okay. I gotta look good. They can't see my face.
Okay.
All right. So this line.
So this one's for white.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So h7. Yeah. What else we got?
h7 again. We have king h8.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't worked out king h8 or the other one. Sorry, I've been busy. So king h8. I think you could just at that point just take the knight and.
Is that a draw?
No, you can't take the knight. You're right. Ooh, thank you, Charlie.
No worries. I'm a quality chess player. You just don't know it yet.
Very good, Charlie.
I guess G7.
Maybe. Well, let's not guess. Let's have you guys think, and you can discuss. Yeah.
There.
Hold on, Scotty. Now my son's yelling for me. Okay, I'll be right back. Yo, Lydian, what's up, home slice? Lydian, my little mama.
Okay. I think.
Let's just talk about candidate moves. What moves should white consider in this position?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily the best move, but just consideration is G7, G5, and King F7, and obviously you can move the king to any of the other squares around it, but I don't necessarily think that's going to do us any good.
The other ones, don't make much sense. Okay. Good. So yeah, we're seeing all the main forcing moves. Now we just got to figure out which one is best.
I like King F7 because it forces the knight to move, and if the knight moves, there are there's 3 squares for the knight to move to. The knight can go to D7, and that's GG's, I think. Or actually, it could go back to F6 and kind of pull the trick.
Well, hold up. Let's pause because we're we have 3 moves for white, right?
Yeah.
And then we started with king f7, which is not the most forcing move, right? And then black has a lot of responses to king f7, and we started with knight d7, which is also not the most forcing. So I think one thing for you would be to try to start with like the most forcing moves first, and then kind of like working your way down.
Okay.
Even if they don't like necessarily make sense, like just to kind of like discard them, you know, just to make sure that they're not good.
Okay. All right. So most forcing move in this case is g7.
Mm-hmm.
G7 would mean that I guess king could take either g7 or h7.
Mm-hmm.
And I think after it takes g7. Hold on, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
After it takes g7, it could promotes.
I just realized I've been
that's
talking and I'm muted.
Oh, I'm
Oh
sorry,
my goodness.
Jordan.
I can't tell because I have this. I only have one monitor, and nobody can see me. And I'm like talking, and I'm like, dude.
sorry.
Just
the background noise.
I like g7 a lot then, actually.
Okay. Yeah. What was the line there?
All right, so there's 2 lines. King takes g7.
Mm-hmm.
Once it takes g7, then the other pawn promotes.
Mm-hmm.
King has to take the knight, and you're pretty much on the right not diagonal. What do you call it? The right vertical file. You're right on the right file to protect the pawn to promotion.
Yeah. King is in a good position. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then the other line. Oh, sorry. Probably want to do this.
Yeah, sure. We'll just put it on the board. So king takes here, and then okay, black can try this one. And what will we do here?
Go down. King f7.
Yeah. And the same thing as before, and then we're promoting, and we just got to make sure we get the tempos right here. This would be a very tragic mistake in view of king g7, and black is drawing. But
Right.
Yeah.
So,
we play this one out before we can push the pawn.
You only do that if it's the king goes to g8 and then the pawn's on g5. Then you have to do that opposition, right?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for both sides, you're usually wanting to take the opposition, but once the kings are like really far advanced, there is a point where actually it doesn't matter. Like if king h8 here, and okay, I think the easiest way would be to actually do this
G6.
one. Is like just the way the tempos work out.
Yep.
So sometimes you just have to like, basically just have to calculate like mechanically, just to make sure that you're winning.
Wait, what's wrong with f7 here? King f7.
I think it wins as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's just a waste of a tempo. Like you don't need to.
That's what you think.
Yeah, but you have to be a little bit careful here. Like, let's say, yeah, let's say we had this position.
You have to go to g6, yeah. King g6.
Right.
Oh, right, here, right, like G6 would be, yeah, blowing the win, right?
Right.
Yep.
So you got to be very,
In a
very
blitz
careful.
game, in that position, you play king f7.
I think King F7 is fine. Yeah, because it's very straightforward. Yeah.
Well, you can't. You also, if they move somewhere else, I don't know.
Yeah, you can't lose.
Right.
Okay. So, yeah, so that was G7, and then this one. And then you said there was another line here?
Yeah, the other line, which also works, is king takes h8, or h7, sorry. And then you take the knight and you promote.
Promote to.
That's winning even.
Oh, just auto.
No. Sorry.
That's stalemate, Scotty.
You take the knight with the king. Right? Yeah, you take.
Or
the
you
knight.
can just promote to a knight.
Guys, it's
or
not stalemate.
something else.
It's not stalemate.
This is not stalemate, but I guess it's a simple. I would have taken again.
Wait, that's not stalemate?
No, there's like there are places. There's G6.
One square.
Oh, one square. Thanks. Yeah.
Charlie, you're so afraid
I
of stalemate. You're seeing it. You know.
No, I just saw a
That's
wall.
why I always
and-
do a rook, Kostya. That's why I always do a rook.
No,
That's
it's just-
not
I was
good.
thinking,
What do you mean?
Like
That's
visually,
it's
it's
not
I'm special.
Guys, you're doing much
Okay.
harder calculations than having to see one move deep and checking if Black's king has. Is it so difficult to think about the opponent that you can't think about one square that the king can move to?
No. Like honestly, I didn't even think of taking with the pawn.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I did.
I just thought of taking it with the king.
All right.
And
Now
then-
here you would have to be
I-
careful in case of king h6. Kind of a funny trick.
You know what fixes that?
A rook.
He's about to leave. He's just like lost.
Okay. So
Yeah.
So
Definitely
this is
take
working.
the-
So right, like I just want to point out, this one was working, and you were able to calculate it out just fine. But your first instinct was to make this move for
More complicated.
whatever reason, and it maybe works, maybe it doesn't. But I think in general, when we're trying to solve in a game, when we're calculating, we want to just start with these most forcing moves first, because they are going to work a lot of the time. And then if they do work, they're very simple to calculate, actually, because the opponent doesn't have three options. The opponent has like one option, right? You got to take the pawn, otherwise we're just promoting.
I like that. Okay.
So, but then let's take it further. So on king f7, you started calculating like knight d7. And again,
Right.
when we're choosing which moves to calculate, we got to start with the most forcing for the opponent, because that's what they're going to be
Okay.
doing. They're going to be. So what's Black's most forcing move here?
Black's most forcing move here. Taking one of the two pawns.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So we got to look at both first before we look at knight d7.
Okay.
I think
So,
knight h7, they definitely get one pawn. Knight, if they get to, then we take it, and then they take it, and then they're just dealing with one pawn at the end instead of.
no, are you kidding me? They take this. This is beautiful. They take on h7, and then you just go g7 and you checkmate.
Oh. What? What are you talking about?
This is what we call art, Charlie. Art.
That is
Oh,
art.
Smothers mate. I saw the knight disappearing because I was still visualing that the pawn was taking.
You're calculating too quickly. Got to slow it down. Slow it down. One move at a time. Takes. You pause.
Usually being slow is my problem.
You'd be surprised,
No, not
actually.
in chess,
People.
Not in chess.
I
I'm
think
talking
people
about
make
different-
mistakes because they go too quickly. They like make too many assumptions in chess, and they like see a move and they see like an immediate response, and they're like, oh, it has to be that move. Well, there was like 3 or 4 other options to consider. No, I think actually people are. That's why coaches always tell you to like sit on your hands, so like slow down and like think
It's
carefully.
called child abuse.
It makes for good chess players. Okay.
No, I'm used to doing where I'm in chess.com puzzles, the 1900 area. It's where it's always the queen sacking. Like in the rook, the knight goes to the side and it comes back to get that smothers mate, not the pawn push forward smothered mate.
Okay.
That
So-
is actually pretty deadly.
Yeah. So knight h7, g7. We figured this one out. Good for white. What was Black's other move?
Taking on g6, which is not good for white. It's really complicated
Not good. Why not?
because you take it and it's a stalemate.
Yeah. So knight takes g6 actually just draws for Black because this pawn is now hanging. So if we do anything other than taking the knights, like, yeah, we're never winning this. If we take it, stalemate. So this is how you save yourself time calculating, right? If you just focus on g7, then you never even have to calculate any other moves. And then let's say we do get here. If you just focus on knight takes g6 and these two moves, then you'll figure out, okay, knight takes g6 is holding, and then you don't have to waste time calculating knight d7 because you're just like cutting straight through, right, to the the heart of the matter. Okay, so all right, so we've refuted king h8. We got g7. There was one other move. We looked at this one, we looked at this one, and now there's also immediate king g7. So let's try to work this one out.
Yeah, that's why I thought h7 initially wasn't going to be right, because you could just dodge it.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe you could still promote in the end.
Okay. So I think it works.
So h7, king g7. King can't go to f7 because the king's there. Would the king want to go to e7? It's either that or you go to g5.
So.
Or you could promote, but then you lose it. Oh, and then you get your knight.
Okay. So g7.
If you promote to h8, it becomes the queen. King takes, and then you take knight. Am I muted again?
No, you're good. Scott's just thinking.
I just like collaborate. I like collaborating on it. Like, you know, I do some, you do some. Scotty.
Yes.
Oh, I'm just making sure you're alive.
I wasn't listening to your line. I'm sorry.
Oh, I stopped not because I couldn't go necessarily further. I just like to collaborate. Oh, I don't like silence, so it makes me feel awkward. h7, king g7, promote to queen, king takes on h8, you take knight, king takes knight on f8.
But I think I've got it.
Yeah, let's just finish that line with Charlie. Charlie, what's Black's next move there?
Oh, now I have to start again. I'm just kidding. So h7, king g7, pawn goes to h8, becomes a queen, king takes in the corner, takes the queen, then king takes knight. So now there's your king on f8, king on h7, your pawn's on g6, and there's a pawn on g4. Who just moved last? You took the knight. So now Black. Oh, that might be stalemate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I am right this time. Oh, jeez. So you can't take the knight. Oh.
So.
Oh, but that means you might be able to promote your pawn, like move your pawns up, or get in a better position to promote your pawns.
So
So your pawn's being attacked. Is there any way you can defend it without doing a stalemate?
So let's keep looking at that line. h7, king g7, h8, king takes, and now white to play. What else can we consider here?
Is this Charlie or can I also?
It's us. It's us. We're together, buddy.
King f7.
King f7, good. Now what's the threat there?
The threat there is, well, white has to move, and it can only move one piece, and it's the knight. And
oh, sorry. When I say like what's the threat, I mean like what's white's next move? If you're just given another move, you know.
Push the pawn.
The pawn.
Yeah, we're ready to push and promote. Yeah. So okay, what can Black do there?
Take
Mm-hmm.
pawn.
Good.
On g6, to which you can respond by taking the pawn on g6 with your king. They'll have to move, and it's king g8 is only move. Then you move up. Then you move up your pawn once, and you have opposition.
We can stop there. Yeah, we know that's winning.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Nice. So h7. And this is kind of, let's say, the most critical line, because I would say this is the one that's hardest to find for white. h8, king takes, And now white has to find king f7. Now here, this is not the most forcing move in the position, but we only come to this one after we've eliminated, the other two options
I
don't work.
eliminated the other. Right.
I only saw this direction though based on conceptually what we did earlier. About how I think in puzzles, like where we know we should be sacrificing or like getting rid of pawns and stuff or whatever, but sometimes in the games I find beginners are like greedy with their pieces. They don't see that if you get rid of some of them in a scenario, you might end up with more or win the game on the other side.
Yeah. Let's see, anything else black can try?
Yeah.
Let's say knight e6.
Yeah, and if black, or what do you call it? If you push the pawn, then it's most likely a draw. It's a draw. If you take the knight, you are in time to get over to f5 to protect the other pawn.
Yeah. Though these can be a little bit tricky with the two pawns. Let's say black goes here. Let me have you guys think for a sec here. Try to find the best move for white.
King f6.
Yeah, that's
maybe think for more than a sec.
Oh my god, that's right. Oh, I see it. Okay.
Oh no, that's stalemate that too.
Oh,
it's
G7,
actually to check.
G7. Take it back. Hey, I know Putsy.
G7?
Yeah.
Okay, so king takes, you got king g5, right? Winning?
Right.
Yeah.
How about this one?
Could you do...
How about that one?
Could we...
Push the king? Probably? I don't know. Hold on, let me calculate. I know, probably is not a good thing. Yeah.
I would...
Okay, the thing is, I don't like either alternative. So.
All right, if you push g7 to g8, it becomes the queen. The king takes. You can gain opposition on g6. It's not stalemate, and you should force the king out of the way, grab the second rank or the seventh file, and then put your pawn up.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah.
Just conceptually.
Same idea, like just trying to force black's king to the g file, except this time we're really forcing it, and yeah. We get the win. So, okay, very good. Yeah, g5 here would be king g7, and then white actually has no way to win anymore because king has to
that's
lose
definitely wrong.
defense of the pawn. Yeah, so this
it's actually
is actually
force
very
him to chase
important.
your pawn. Force him to... Okay, you're sacking that, so you're actually able to have one instead of none.
Yeah, but we're building the base, guys. You feel this? We're building the base. You already know that you can win this position, 10 times out of 10, I hope, against anyone, against literally anyone. And now like, okay, you can win this position as well, right? You have this idea. It's like...
But what happens, though, if this happens and then Scotty promotes it to a rook? Does that make it more confusing?
Let's see.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's the same thing. He just doesn't have to take.
He just doesn't have to take. Exactly. You can go king h6 on promoting to a queen as well. But, yeah, might not do us a lot of good. Okay, guys. Excellent work. I think this puzzle shows a lot about how tricky it is just to calculate, like, 2-3 move variations. There can be so many, like, so few pieces, just like a couple pawns and a knight, but still, it's like so many different possible variations. I think you guys did okay. This is a tough one. This is not an easy one.
To be fair, I think we did a lot better this time around than when we first started Dojo Bros and you were on.
I think so.
For sure. So
I think so. Yeah.
At least with the visualization aspect, which is the biggest thing.
I didn't show the most critical line. What was the most critical line? Maybe we missed it.
Yeah. Apparently, I am Kostya. Missed it. H7 to king h8. We did that a long time ago, didn't we?
Yeah, that was the one we just did.
Yeah, so we did we did h7, we started with knight
G7.
takes, we refuted that one. Then we did h7, king h8, we refuted that one. And then we got h7, king g7. That was the line we just did.
Right? Yeah, we did that one as well.
Point of all this is we win these, all right? Now I think we got them all.
Yeah, we just looked at
No,
this one.
it seems like the conceptual understanding is to stretch the king out so you can protect the one pawn. Like, he can't protect them all, and if you clump him, it's easier actually for him sometimes to defend. But if you stretch one far on the wide receiver route, you're going to end up getting a touchdown and promote.
Yeah, so
That's exactly it. I don't know why you guys are laughing.
We looked at this one, and then if King G7 here, 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 yeah, this was Scotty said this was winning for white.
It definitely is.
Scotty says something. It's might as well have been.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Well done, guys. Good stuff.
I like saying things in different ways to help people understand. It's not necessarily for me, it's for everybody.
Good.
Right here, he doesn't have. Black does not have the opposition there. We gain the opposition back when we move the pawn.
Oh yeah, white's last move was G6 there. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Or G5. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's black to play. But even if it was white to play, actually, it's still winning. Because we would go here, for example, then we push G6, and then we push G7. So this is called, we're getting advanced here, guys, but this is called the fifth rank rule.
Can you show it?
Yeah, so maybe just a good way to remember. Normally, like when you have kings in opposition, if black has the opposition, then it's a draw. Right? Because white's king can't make any progress. The fifth rank rule is kind of an exception. It says like once the pawn gets to the fifth rank and your king is on the sixth rank, basically as close as it can possibly get, here it actually doesn't matter who has the opposition. Just because of the way the tempos work out.
Okay.
Yeah, in this case, it doesn't even matter because white takes the opposition and then black has to get out of the way and white wins. But even if it was white to move here, white would still be winning.
Can you show it on the? Are you able to show it on the board?
Yeah. Let me switch it up. Yeah. So here, push, and push, and GG.
He has to go to the F7. So that way, then you're promoting because then you go to H7 after.
Yeah. Like if I just move the pieces around here a bit, normally this position is a draw with white to play, right? Because if we try to make progress, what's the right move for black here?
The right move for
back
black.
Back up, G8, I think.
Yeah.
I've seen this before.
Yeah, king stays in front of the pawn, and then that's it. White
I'm right. Oh, these instincts.
Very good, very good. Right, but once we have this position, then let's say white has to get out of the way. Black no longer has this square behind.
I found about this position the hard way.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, because I was in a game with someone and I was in a similar situation and I was like, oh great, got the opposition and they won. I was like, damn it. What happened?
Yeah, but hang on.
So what this also means is like, for example, this position is also winning for white, regardless of whose turn it is. It doesn't matter. If black to play, black goes here, white takes the opposition, white wins. If it's white to play, white takes this pawn, black takes the opposition, white wins anyway.
Because it's the fifth rank rule. I gotcha.
Yeah. So that also means that like this position is winning for white, like 100% winning. Nothing black can do.
Because he can't get to the pawn.
Yeah, because the black king is just going to get shouldered out. Like if it's white to play, you go king e6 here, and black has to give up squares, and then we're just taking the pawn and winning.
Because he has to move away.
Yeah.
And then you come into his square, his domain, and then you're able to get it. I gotcha.
But this position, though, would be a draw. But let's see how. Let's say it's let's say it's black to play. How would you guys try to draw this one?
Black to play.
Mm-hmm.
My instinct says king f7.
Yeah, those are good instincts, I think.
Okay, let's say white goes king f5.
Oh, I lied. Bad instincts. I'm just kidding. King f5.
If that doesn't work, then maybe king h6.
King f8.
Mm-hmm. We take the pawn.
King g7.
G7. Very good. Okay, so yeah, actually, like pretty much
you're
any
right.
move here draws for black. The only way not to draw, the only way to lose this, is to put your king on g7 when white is taking on g5. But as long as we don't do this, maybe the easiest way is to go here first, and then you're like just ready to take the opposition, and then we're holding. But this would be fine as well, as long as we just don't go here. We can make any of these moves, and as long as we're ready to come to g7 once white takes the pawn, then we're.
Because their idea is they want to be
as well.
moving into the opposition. It's just yeah, I got you.
Yeah, you're preparing to take the opposition. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, good work, guys. Good endgame stuff. I want to do something a little different because, yeah, just to switch it up. But I want to have you guys play some practice games, and you're just gonna play the first 10 moves. I think this is something David did as well, but I'm gonna do it a little bit differently. You're just gonna play the first 10 moves of the game. As usual, we'll make it like a rapid game, so you'll have some time to think if you need to. And then we will analyze the game afterwards. And I'm going to ask you guys, so after 10 moves each, just like offer a draw or whatever, will make the game unrated. I'll ask you guys to evaluate.
For us to play each
the
other
position.
or just something?
Yeah, each other.
Okay,
you guys are going to play each other. Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. Game on.
Follow you. So I'm going to ask you guys to evaluate the position after 10 moves.
Okay.
Okay, so you should be thinking about that during the game. And then we will be scoring this. So we're going to make it competitive.
It already is competitive.
So if you're...
Look at my face. I haven't moved. I'm so serious.
Right. So whoever evaluates the position more accurately, or let's say like closer to the objective truth, will win that round.
Got it.
Wow. There's a lot on the line.
Yeah. So it's important to be objective, guys. Even if you're worse in the game and you have to admit that you're worse, that's still better for the purposes of this exercise, right? So you gotta try to be honest. Okay, so let me have you guys. You guys want to challenge each other?
Yeah.
Scotty's already on it. Jeez.
Why don't you guys do like
He's
10 plus 5?
Oh, I just did 10.
That's fine. That's fine.
it's still plenty of time.
Okay, and then take the headphones out until you're done playing, and then come back in.
Are you done with the instructions, sir?
Yes. Very good, Charlie.
Move, Charlie.
He's gonna try to Grand Prix me, that piece of crap.
Okay, we got a Grand Prix from Scotty. Very interesting. Charlie knew it was coming. These guys have probably played each other many times. Yeah, lots of different ways for black to develop here, but once you play g6, yeah, it makes sense to go bishop g7, knight c6, and then follow up from there. F3, yeah, kind of normal developing here for white. The big question for white is what to do with the bishop on f1. So a lot of players, they like to put this one out on b5, sometimes on c4. Sometimes it just stays on g2. you get kind of more of like a close Sicilian. But yeah, many different ways for white to play, many different ways for black to play. Seems like Charlie's already kind of on his own. He goes knight c6. Now, yeah, bishop b5 quickly. So I think Scotty was waiting for this move so he can get his bishop out. Like, kind of typical thing for white. Like, sometimes you just take on c6, you just give up this bishop, but you worsen black structure, and then the rest of your position is very cohesive. You get d3, castles, queen e1, queen h4, f5, bishop h6, knight g5. Like, when you can make your next 7 moves in a row, it's nice little system. Nice system opening that people kind of enjoy, because you just like, you know, people say they like to avoid theory, but really what they want is they just want to like know the next 6-7 moves that they're playing. So they're the ones actually that are not avoiding theory. Anyway, so e6, and now with e6, Charlie's kind of suggesting he might play knight g7. This is one of the few cases where I think e6 and g6 are both okay to play together, because white doesn't really have a way to take advantage. And a lot of times here, white will just take on c6 right away to make sure that the pawns get doubled before the knight comes out. But Scotty decides that's not needed. Castles, and now bishop d4 check from Charlie. Okay, kind of a weird move, because this is like black's one of their best pieces. And black is offering to trade it off, and it's also like moving the same piece twice in the opening. So, no good. Yeah, I think you're right, Mitch. I think white should definitely take on c6 at this point, right away. And then, yeah, if white can get e5 in, actually, I think that's a good point. Like, this is very, very unpleasant for black. Knight e4, d3, bishop e3, like, all these weak squares. Yeah, so this would actually been quite strong for Scotty. We should mention that to him. After the game... Wow, one training game, and they're going to learn so many lessons. Charlie's going to learn not to play bishop d4 check, because this move, yeah, it's just like not really developing the rest of black's pieces, and he's going to be missing his dark square bishop. And Scotty's going to learn how to put pressure on the dark squares. And he's been doing these like color complex lessons, so actually it'll be pretty, I'm sure he'll be quite interested in this one. Okay, so he takes d4, now it's white to play here. So he's got a choice. Feels like knight e2 is the most logical move, but Scotty's thinking about something else here. But you would think you would want to just keep the knight in the center. Okay, there we go. And yeah, we'll see. Oh, d3 from Charlie. Wow. Very aggressive. Look at this. Look at this trick. Do you guys see this trick? Pawn takes, queen b6 check. I mean, you can take with the bishop, but...
Oh, I'm an idiot. He should just take back with his bishop and he saves it. Crap.
Charlie's figured it out. Man, very tactical.
Take back with the bishop, Scotty.
Yeah, he finds it.
Should have thought instead of assumed.
Yeah. Okay, so move 9, one more move before these guys offer a draw. How are we evaluating the position for white? Because we're up a pawn, but how much better is white here?
His bishop's just as bad as my bishop. You should.
Not sure if that's going to be true. White puts the bishop. But okay, very important move for Scotty here, because like he probably knows his position is good, but how exactly to proceed from here? Yeah, I don't think we're going to bother with computer evaluations, because, I mean, those just depend on the engine that you're using and, like, the strength of the computer. So, like, the same engine might say plus 1.8 on one machine and then plus 3 on another machine. So, like, totally random, right? But I think the human evaluation is going to be more important here.
So he's obviously trying to take this.
B3. I like B3.
He's poking his head at me. I'm saying.
Yeah, M. Fabian's got you helped out there, PB Corporeal.
You want us to draw now or keep
Should be.
Yeah. Offer draw. Okay, GG's.
GG's.
Good job, Scotty, on taking back with your.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's
I called it.
let's
As soon
discuss
as I did it.
the position a bit. Before we'll go back and analyze, because there were some interesting things in the game as well that we could talk about. But let's hear from Scotty first. How would you evaluate this position?
Sure. Black is so weak on dark squares. So weak on dark squares on the king side. I literally every single pawn over there is on a light square. His knight on E7 is guarding light squares. His rook is it is where it is. It's not really doing anything with dark squares. And the only one guarding a dark square is the king, and that's not really the greatest thing you want.
Looks like someone's been paying attention in their color complex classes, huh?
So my goal in this position, my goal in this position was just getting control of the file or of the diagonal A to H. And that's why I Fian Ketoed, and also I Fian Ketoed because sometimes, if I get my bishop out a different way without Fian Ketoing, I am familiar with the check of the B6 queen check, and then they take it a pawn on B2 if I do it otherwise. So I thought this kind of killed two birds with one stone. I don't know if that was the most accurate move, but I liked getting that whole file right in front of the king, and then I was going to shift my queen over to potentially the H file and kind of just attack there. Possible sack on G6 in the future, depending on where that F pawn stands. Who knows?
Okay, yeah, we're looking way too deep now. So how about like an evaluation of like, so I'll give you some options. You can say white is better, white is much better, or white is winning, or white is completely winning. So the difference between winning and completely winning is like, completely winning is when you're like up a queen and your opponent can resign. Winning
Sure.
is like you have a winning position, but the game is not over. Much better, you have a big advantage, you're not yet winning. And then better or slightly better means you have a small advantage. Or equal, you can say it's equal, or you can say black is better, and again, list all those things.
I'm gonna say that white is somewhere around better to much better.
Okay.
The available like incoming threats are pretty nasty. And I feel that white could essentially paralyze black's position, as well as kind of produce an attack of his own.
All right, Charlie, what are you thinking? How would you evaluate the position?
I think Scotty didn't necessarily go to help his kids, but he actually went to take a couple shots, and he thinks he's doing way better than he is. I'm not saying I think he's slightly winning. He has the diagonal, but he can't just do anything just with the bishop by himself. Obviously, he does have the dark squares. I can easily check him if I needed to in one move to gain something. I can have a couple pawn pushes to make stuff happen. I'd say he's slightly better, but
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I think with good play, I can definitely, like, it's not like I couldn't win if I did the right things.
All right, you're saying slightly better. Scott was more optimistic than that, saying somewhere between slightly better and much better.
Yeah, because if I didn't, like, I kind of instantly did that tactic, and then I saw that he could just take back with a bishop. But if I didn't do that, it would probably been even closer to equal.
Yeah,
I disagree.
We'll talk about this. But okay, first off, let's finish up on this position. I would say White is closer to winning here, personally, than... So I would say Scott is being pessimistic, if anything. I'll tell you guys why I think this way. I mean, I don't know for sure, right? I'm just giving you guys my opinion, but White's up a very clean extra pawn, right? So we have an extra pawn. That's a lot. Yeah. And the dark square bishop is pretty massive in this position. Like, Black has already weakened these dark squares on the king side. Like, this is going to be a big problem. So White just needs to figure out a plan here. But you can think about putting the bishop on b2 and then, let's say, trying to bring the knight
f6
to e4 and f6, right? You can play like c4, bishop c2, d4, and just like completely take over the center. Well, okay, White has a very big advantage. I would say very close to winning. So Scotty gets this round because he was closer. But let's actually go through the game because this was a very interesting one. So
he used my opening against me.
Charlie, yeah, for you.
Opening. You only used the Grand Prix because I told you to use the Grand Prix.
Shut up! You don't know me.
All right, guys, let's talk about these moves here. So bishop b5. Charlie, you went e6, and then you decided to give bishop d4 check. So can you explain this one to me?
What hold on, I gotta go back to the position.
Yeah, bishop d4. You know, I'll just copy the game into our analysis board. You guys still have the analysis board?
Stamen, hey. Yeah, I can.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm at the position.
Yeah, I'm on the analysis board we were using, so we can just all follow along. So bishop d4 check. Yeah, what was this one about?
What was that about? Flexing?
I
saw you could take back with a knight. I thought it was just a lot of forcing moves. Like, I thought I was gonna basically win the bishop at the end. If he misplayed it.
You thought you were already winning the bishop here with this tactic?
If it's kind of like if they do it wrong type of thing. It's not if they misplay it.
I think he thought like he could get up on material somehow if I took the knight first. Like if I took the bishop and took the knight first with the bishop as opposed to moving my knight. I don't know, maybe he thought something like that.
I don't know. I should have calculated more instead of just assumed, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it just sounds like hope chess, Charlie. It just sounds like you played some random move, like hoping, like maybe he'll go rook f2 and you'll win like that. Like
that should be a new website, by the way. Hope chess.
Hope chess. No, a lot of people would sign up, but it's not good for your classical chess. I mean, to me, I mean, you have to really justify this move because you're giving up your best piece, you know.
To be honest, I never even realized my dark square bishop is my best piece in this position.
Wow.
And like when it's not aiming at the same angle as the king.
I mean, wow. This bishop is sad, Charlie, that you said that. It's controlling this whole diagonal. This bishop is so strong. It's like a policeman, right? It just polices the entire diagonal. And not even a policeman, it's a sniper. It is a sniper with a sniper rifle, just like aimed at this whole diagonal. And if White puts anything on this diagonal, it's gonna get sniped. It's like such a strong bishop. Very, very strong.
So it doesn't matter that it's not aiming at the king side necessarily. It's just owning parts of the battlefield.
Why did you put it on g7 if you're, in the first place?
Because it's how you play forms of the hyper-accelerated dragon. And it has a cool name.
I mean,
well, that's the dragon. Like that bishop is the dragon.
Yeah. I know. I understand.
Quite literally, yeah. The dragon bishop. Yeah, the strongest minor piece in all of chess, actually. I think not too crazy. Arguably the strongest minor piece. Like you take any opening, any minor piece, like the dragon bit might be the best. I don't know. Look, you're also moving the same piece twice in the opening, so it's like
Yeah, that's a basic bad principle.
yeah, it's just kind of like playing for tricks or something. So far, what has White done? Like he developed 3 pieces and he castled. Like there's no way Black should be winning at this point if White has just kind of played normal moves in the opening. So we have to just get our pieces out, Charlie. I mean, you played e6. I thought to put the knight on e7. Why not? Why not put the knight here?
On that square?
Mm-hmm.
Then if he takes it, I take my pawn, and then I attack the knight. And then he has to move the same that piece again.
If he takes this one?
Yeah, I'm still looking at my board. I didn't want to just click around. But so you're saying
No, go to the analysis board, Charlie. We're making moves here.
Part of when Charlie and I practiced in Grand Prix, I've usually played c4, bishop c4. But I kind of wanted to change things up on him. So
Sure.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I like bishop b5.
bishop b5 is actually I think is the more accurate of the 2 moves. But I don't know. I actually, if I don't know what to do if they don't put their knight there.
So
happened?
actually, for you, Scotty,
Knight c6.
when Black played e6, I would say a lot of times in these positions, like Mitch pointed this out, you can just take on c6 right away. I think you should.
Really? Okay.
You double the pawns, but then the point is the follow-up. Let's say Black takes back, I don't know, bc. The idea is to go e5 for White. And then you get your knight to e4. And then you can like
Can you send me the... Oh, am I here?
Oh, do you
I'm
need
on
the link?
square now.
You're good?
No, I'm here. I'm here, I think. You're drawing arrows, so...
Yeah. Yeah, you have this e5 knight e4 idea, which I think is actually really strong, Scotty, because you're just attacking on the dark square. Like, speaking of color complex, like, this is it. Like, bishop comes to e3, and, like, Black just can't defend the c5 pawn. It's just not.
Now my bishop's ugly, too.
Yeah, I think Black should, like, play something like d6 here to try to break it open. But this is kind of this is nice for White.
I think I'd take immediately.
Oh, interesting. I'm not sure if you should take, but you could take in something like
I'm
d3.
just thinking 2 isolated pawns.
Yeah, no, these would be very weak for sure. You got like knight e4, and yeah, I think White is doing quite well. So yeah, this is just an idea you can use, especially once they've committed to e6. Then this d6 square, right, becomes super weak.
Oh, so hold on, d6. So I've seen d6, e6 played after I played bishop c4 in preparation for d5.
Yeah, against this one, e6 makes a lot of sense, and then like knight e7 and d5. And this is actually a good setup for you, Charlie. If you meet bishop c4, you can go this way and knight e7.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you always go to d5 with the pawn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and it's sometimes it's cool. You can actually play if your opponent plays a move like d6, then you can actually head over to c5 or bishop c4, because then it's like an extra tempo that they have to use in order to like get up there. I don't know, whatever. That's beyond the scope right now.
Yeah.
You were saying I should have took the center with my knight, or I should have just kept developing?
Well, after bishop e5, e6, castles, yeah, knight e7, I would say, would be the good move here. Just like developing.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah.
That's what I probably would have done standard-wise.
Though,
I'm still not...
You do want to be careful and not to allow White to kind of take, because what's good for White is not going to be great for Black, right? Like, so you want to be careful to avoid this kind of position. So I believe on bishop b5, maybe we should play knight to d4. So this piece we're happy to trade off. Right? We want to keep our bishop. And then if knight takes, you can take with the bishop. I would probably take with the pawn, just to
and then you
get the nice tempo.
And And then the knight moves out of the way.
Say knight goes out of the way. And
then you probably go e6.
I think like knight f6, and then you just start developing here, maybe a6 as well.
What about knight f6? So and then they go e5.
So knight f6. Actually, so this one is kind of a funny trap. If d3, you got queen a5 check. That's kind of cool. So Scotty, you should watch out for this one. And if e5, then I think your knight gets to choose a square. Let's say knight d5. And we're
It's not the end of the world.
putting pressure on this one. Yeah. So if knight takes d4, we can maybe take on f4.
Okay. And if nothing happens, you just keep developing.
Yeah.
Or castle next,
Yeah,
probably.
a6, queen b6, castles, d6 somewhere to get the bishop out. Yeah, something like this.
Yeah, I really don't know why I went, I don't know. I'll call it a mental lapse. I went so aggressive instead of just playing good chess.
Yeah, you're playing black.
Playing for
You
tricks,
just
I
gotta,
guess.
like, develop your pieces, and you'll get your squares in the center. I mean, I like the Sicilian. I like these setups for black. Like, actually, my last tournament, I won like 2 games against the Grand Prix. It was great. It was like my best opening for black. The Grand Prix.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Wait, they play the Grand Prix at your level?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes,
Wow.
I welcome it.
I mean, I know that Nigel Short has played it at that level and has done great with it, but that's also Nigel Short.
No, but he would crush me, and I mean he's much stronger. I mean the opening is playable. It's just that it's not that dangerous for black necessarily if black is like kind of fighting back, according to me. So
It's okay.
yeah, interesting game. Hopefully you guys learned something. And then yeah, this stuff with d3, it's very hope chess. So it's like
Yeah, I just don't think I would normally play it necessarily in a game. Like,
yeah,
I treat Scotty differently than I treat. When I play with my friends, sometimes I play differently. I don't know why.
mm-hmm. Weird.
But still, we all learn from it still. So.
Yeah. No, this game, I think it was pretty instructive for everyone. I hope it was instructive for you guys too.
Yeah, but can we do it again?
Yeah. We're let's have you guys play again. Charlie, you get white. We'll do the same thing.
doesn't matter what
10
color.
moves, offer draw, and then come back.
All right. Can you send me the invite, Scotty?
I got you, buddy. I got you.
Yeah, maybe Charlie can get some revenge.
No, it doesn't matter. It's about why did it go away?
Abort? I literally. Okay.
Scotty started a game with someone else.
Someone else. Yeah, I was like, wait. I clicked Charlie. I said play a friend. I chose Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
I got it. Should we remove the headphones now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, round
Knows
2.
all my openings. This guy.
Okay, just gonna do a Grand Prix.
Now he's
clinic.
gonna destroy me. This
Sounds
way.
good. That's cool. This is the opening. These guys want to play it.
No, he doesn't play the hyperlink.
Oh,
Sorry.
d6 switches it up.
He opened up the white king. I could check. He could just defend and develop with his knight. He's never
Charlie
seen this
goes.
one before.
F4, nice. You gotta stick to your guns. This is what you play. This is what you play. That's fine. That's fine. Now Scotty. So these guys are just like inventing stuff, and I guess because they've played so much before, don't want to do the same thing. But that tells me, that they're like not fully analyzing their games, because like playing the same opening more than once against the same opponent doesn't mean like the game is gonna go the exact same way. So like if you analyze the games that you're playing, you find some improvements. Like you should be happy to play the same person. You like can't wait to show them that like you've improved on the game. Like you're gonna crush them with your new analysis. So I think these guys need some of Jesse's medicine. You gotta be deliberate.
Check is still useless because he just develops. Right. It's attacking. I'm attacking. One's defending, one's just standard stuff.
Knight f3, totally fine. Yeah, we'll see how Scotty continues to develop here.
If I pushed, he'd take, I take, he moves knight, but his knight is safe. It's a waste of time. He's planning on fiend catoing. If I do bishop there, he pushes. I take, he takes, I take, he takes, I take.
So g6, so Scotty just goes for like a regular dragon setup, which is also totally playable for black. So bishop c4 makes sense. Charlie's just following his usual Grand Prix setup. Knight c6.
He's planning on maybe going, no, I can just take it. Okay, so.
d3. Oh, knight a5. Big move from Scotty, going after this bishop. So now Charlie has a choice. He can either give check or he can allow white to take his bishop at the cost of time.
You take me, you open up my rook.
He decides to go bishop b3, yeah. But this isn't necessarily bad for white. White is often giving up this bishop for this knight, and he does get this open a file. So black will have to spend a tempo on a6 at some point. Now I think white can continue, yeah, going after the king side. Okay, we're on move 9, folks. So one more move, and then these guys are done. Yeah, I'm actually not sure myself, Putzi. White could also just leave the bishop on c4, just castle. Yeah, that would be an option too, I think. But it's hard to evaluate exactly. I think what Charlie did is mostly okay. Yeah, these knight a5 moves can be pretty annoying. Scotty thinking about it here. Probably I would just castle or go like either a6 or maybe b6. Yeah, bishop b5 check. I wasn't sure. Right, after bishop d7. Now clear how great that is for white. Oh, or is this like bishop takes f7? But then king can take your bishop, dude. And you're down a bishop. So maybe not best. Scotty really taking his time here. I wonder what he's thinking about. He's probably just afraid of the Grand Prix because he plays it so much with white. He knows how dangerous it is. Queen e1, queen h4, f5. Again, it's very nice to just kind of have like all your moves ready. And so he's worried about his king if he castles. But what can you do? I mean, if you can't leave your king on e8. See, this is a typical mistake. Not that Scotty's doing this, but some players will do this mistake where they're like, oh, if I castle, you know, the opponent knows where my king is and they can attack. But then they leave their king in the center, like the opponent also knows where your king is there. So you're still gonna get attacked. The king on e8. So yeah, I think you just have to castle and figure it out from there. Okay, now one more move from each player. H3 from Charlie. So yeah, he's playing the Grand Prix, but he's not actually playing the Grand Prix. He's just playing the setup and then playing quiet moves from there. The Grand Prix is all about attacking. Queen e1, queen h4. So we're gonna have to mention this one to him. H3 not super helpful for white in this regard. Yeah, Scott is really thinking about it here. But now it's time for black to develop. So, gotta try to come up with what to do with black's light square bishop. That's the big problem piece here. Maybe we can go to b7. Maybe we go a6, b5 somehow. What would I play here? I think, to me, a6 feels like a really useful move you'll have to make at some point. Okay, h5. Wow. That's very committal. I guess he was worried about g4. Okay, time to draw. I think Charlie's still thinking about it. There we go. Okay. GG. GG. Very tense game. Let's see what we have for Charlie.
Evaluation.
Oh, here.
Sure.
I'm just quiet.
For once.
Well, let's start with Charlie this time. How would you evaluate the position?
I hate doing this. I was extremely losing. I'll just say it that way, probably. Even though I probably, but I feel it's safer to say it. I don't know. I think psychologically, I don't want to say anxiety or nerve, but I was like all in, I don't do for the Grand Prix. By pushing that, and then you get an angle facing the back side.
Yeah, sorry, Charlie, we're having a really hard time hearing you.
Side.
Charlie?
Hello?
Hey, yeah, we're just having a hard time hearing you. You're just cutting in and out.
It's okay. Is it fine now?
It's better now, yeah.
Okay, I'm on the analysis board. I loaded it up, that's why I thought we were there.
Oh, good. I'll go there.
Yeah, so anytime I guess when I transition pages, I lag. I was saying I was playing the Grand Prix setup.
Yeah.
But I didn't do a lot of my aggressive stuff that I normally would do in it. I didn't push the pawn to then get that bishop on h6, and then the white squared bishop. I mean the queen defending it, so you destroy their strong bishop.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I was playing timid. Mentally, I was messed up, I guess.
Yeah, what's the usual plan you play for here in this position? Are you on the
what you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually you scoot the queen over and you push the pawn on f5, and then you push the bishop then to h6, and then you attack, and then sometimes you can even sack your rook to destroy their knight. You can do a lot of things to win.
Not bishop h6. I guess maybe in this position. Bishop g5 is generally.
No, you can go bishop h6. It's fine.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I don't know.
No, that's the classic idea. You trade off the bishop, you get knight g5 in, and yeah, you play
Yeah,
for the
Kostya
attack.
showed me this in a lesson before.
Yeah.
So I remember it all. I just didn't want to. I felt like I wasn't being creative and doing it right if I just did exactly the move order you told me. I don't know. Like it does it, but I felt cheap doing it here. I don't know. I have mental problems.
Yeah, this is very strange, Charlie. I didn't get what you're. It's like I knew what the best move was, but I didn't want to play it because it's like the best move, and then like the opponent would be expecting. Look, chess is a game of structures, right? You have different structures, you have different formations, and there are like different ways to kind of effectively use the power of that formation, right? So if you're playing the Grand Prix attack and then not actually going for the attack, there's no point to your setup here, right? It's like why not just play knight a2, knight b1, just make random like what? You got to be okay with winning the game.
I understand. I apologize for my mental breakdowns during any part of our tutorials and stuff.
No, it's good. It's good to get this stuff out.
I know the concepts and stuff. I think it's because, like, for some reason, when you're playing a friend and we've done this many times. It's like, if you do what I know I should do, won't you be able to counter it? But maybe chess isn't like that. Like, you can't counter the best move. Can you? Like, I don't know.
I think you're overthinking it. Like, your job in chess is to just try to improve your position and make good moves. And if the opponent makes weaknesses, or if they open up your king, you pounce, right? And you destroy them. That's your chess job, right? You're just trying to develop your pieces, improve your position, and then like pounce on any weaknesses or mistakes. Right? So you always have like your plan, like how you're trying to like build up your position. Of course, if the opponent plays perfectly, they're going to be having a good position as well. They'll defend. Like, chess is a balanced game, but that's what makes the game very fun and dynamic, is that it's very hard to play perfectly for both sides. Someone is going to get something wrong at some point, and then you have a fun game.
Especially with all the variations and stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I went h5.
So
I thought h3 was wrong, and I thought you were trying to push g4, and I figured if you do that, I'd win a pawn.
Yeah, and check this out. H5 might not even be a good move, right? But it's like it was provoked by white. I know chess is like a super dynamic game. That's why I always say like some of the best chess improvement stuff is just reading, just like game collection, just like hearing the thoughts of like the great players. I just think it's like so useful,
So do you say, were we like neutral, even? Somebody was winning, Scott. What do you think?
I haven't heard it from. So what did you think, Charlie? What's your evaluation after 10 moves, like, of the ones we mentioned?
I would say it was. I would say equal. I guess I'm not sure.
You can say equal.
Based on how I played it, I would say equal.
Okay. That's an evaluation. What do you think, Scotty?
I think it's equal to white being slightly better.
Oh, really? You really think I was better? You're such a nice guy.
Funny. Okay, so Charlie's saying dead equal. Scotty's giving a small edge to white.
That naturally white has. White always naturally has, like, out of the gate, a slight equal advantage, don't they? Like a slight advantage.
Yeah, you could say that about a lot of positions for sure.
Like, not necessarily game winning, but like a slight.
No, it just depends. Sometimes like black equalizes out of the opening, and then it's just like purely equal. Sometimes it's equal-ish, but like if you had to pick a side, you would still take white. So it's like, maybe the game is equal, but one side has a slightly more comfortable position.
So, Scotty, you really thought I was going to go G4? Jeez.
Dude, I thought you were nuts. I don't know. What the heck is H3 about? Like, I was
That was preventing your bishop to attack my knight.
Yeah, but
and then hitting my queen.
I don't even know.
I think the word is profile. I can't pronounce stuff well, especially with headphones on. Like, serious, headphones kill my pronunciation more than it already is. It's hard.
To be honest, like, I was debating between two moves, and that is Bishop, or pardon me, b6 to prepare the bishop, the light squared bishop to
Yep.
go to g7. Or honestly, because of that weird h3 move, I figured h5. And like I didn't know. I was just scared of h4 or g4.
And then my considerations was before h3 was queen to e1 or f5.
Right. Yeah, I
That's
think
what I
queen
should've
e1
done.
would have been
queen
would have
e1 would have
good.
been better.
Yeah,
so
that's
yeah,
the standard
so
move.
okay, so actually this is a kind of a tough one to evaluate because h5 is I think it's not a great move here because it's weakening the king side.
So weakening.
Before h5, I would say the position is pretty much close to equal, pretty balanced. After h5, I think white is better, but I think white has to kind of find the right move here.
What's
So
I gonna do?
what would you think about how white should continue here, Charlie?
Like, let me flip the board because I've been looking at it. the other way. Oh, I made music. One of the moves. No, let me think one before I open my mouth. It's hard to do. There's so many moves that are coming to my mind.
I know.
Oh, I can't take.
Let me ask you this: if I didn't play g5, h5, would g4 be an idea here?
Not for me.
Yeah, I think you were overly afraid of this one, Scott, because it's not like, honestly, it's not that scary. Like we definitely should take a look because you were afraid of it because, yeah, like in the next game, hopefully, you're kind of not as worried. I mean, like your king on g8, it takes a lot of work for white to really get an attack here. And create some threats. And when they're playing g4 and g5, like they're opening up their own king side
Their king.
just as much as they're doing anything to you.
So you were asking me what question?
Yeah, I was thinking, what would you play here
What would I
after
do?
h5? Yeah.
I could go knight to g5. I could go e5. I could push the pawn on f5, and they have to do something with it and start destroying their king.
Mm-hmm.
I go f4, f5.
You go f5, Scotty?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think f5 here feels like the right move.
I said that too.
Yeah, but you didn't
I
know.
decided
You're
more
like
options.
knight g5, e5.
You're supposed to stop me when I say the right thing.
Oh, that's too easy, huh? Well, let's just take a look at this one. I mean, it's like, are we
It's fine.
worried that we're losing the
take a
pawn here? Is this a concern for white, or should white be actually like
No,
super
that's
excited?
awesome. That's opening up. Super excited because you open up files and diagonals and lanes to the king.
Yeah.
Now my knight can go there, and then it's just rock and roll. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys play poker, but this is like the equivalent of when you're sitting on like the nuts and someone like bets into you. They're like you're the one that wants the files open, and they're like, here, let me do it for you. Yeah, so this would be great. Knight g5, knight h4, white's pieces just start coming in.
I don't think I would take, but
Yeah.
it would. If they did take, they would create a backwards pawn.
But a lot of times this is the thing that concerns people. They're like f5, like, oh, what if I lose the pawn? And it's like, no, we love this. Yeah?
Either way, we're getting a good position out of it.
Right. If they don't take, then you're creating this big target on g6 that you can possibly go after. Or you can continue building up, like queen e1, queen g3. And yeah, now it starts to feel kind of unpleasant for black, which it doesn't if you don't go h5. So that's why h5 I think is not a great move, because you're actually like weakening your own king side.
Okay. So then was the bishop b7 route probably better?
I think this is better. You can also, let's say, start with this one, which makes sense to me, just so that your pawn is like
Sure.
not hanging for the rest of the game. And then let's say white goes g4, which I think we're not that afraid of, but let's just say this did happen. Let's just play rook b8. We'll just play it super slow. Are we afraid of g5 here or f5, or what were you thinking?
Yeah, I was afraid of something like that. I think probably knight, something like, yeah, something like g5 or something like that. Maybe f4 now would actually
Yeah, maybe f5. Yeah.
Or that's what I mean, f5. Sorry. F5 now would be pretty scary.
Yeah. And how scary it actually is, it's hard to say for me.
The next move would be
no? Do you take with g-pawn or just let them take?
Well, what do you think?
I wouldn't take black.
I mean, I think I can replace it if they take.
Yeah, taking I think would not be great because you kind of let white, again, open
Sure.
files, which is what they want to do.
Sure.
So black should continue developing, like try to make some
I
type of
would think
counterplay.
something like b5 here. Yeah. Though I do agree it can be kind of somewhat dangerous here. And so, yeah, there are like other ways to play. Like you can try this move e6, for example, to kind of make it harder for white to play
Right.
f5.
And I was thinking, I was thinking that move, and the reason why, and the reason I was thinking this move, and I was okay with taking, if they were to push the f5 pawn with the e pawn, was because they no longer have that light squared bishop attacking f7.
Right.
I don't know
If he did that though, wouldn't I do e5?
Yeah, you can try e5 here.
Sure.
But let's see. Let's say we just go.
Dude, he's gonna say I can try anything I suggest, but then I'm gonna learn why it didn't work.
I mean, I would.
Yeah,
I
it's a
think I
good
would
try.
take,
Okay, let's say you take. We'll take with the pawn.
and then
Now I got my open file.
knight. I mean,
Knight d7.
yeah, knight d7.
Yeah, you could try this one. White will defend. And then
Okay.
kind of build up.
I was just gonna
Knight2,
say that
Knight4.
move, Ramos.
Yeah, very good, Charlie. Very good. Yeah,
And
here I
you
think
said
white is
I should
getting
always go
some
F5?
nice play in the dark squares.
If you look at my game history, like 99% of the times, that's what I do.
Good,
But
good
it's like
choice.
blindly
Yeah,
almost.
Knight e8,
Maybe knight d5 here,
knight d5.
just to keep the knight
That's a good
more.
outpost.
Okay, that's fair.
More
And then
active.
the pawn's even out. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know, knight e4. Still kind of feels like white might be getting a nice initiative here.
Yeah, you're
That's
gonna
not
get
fair.
train
You're
wrecked,
biased.
son.
You don't. You play against the Grand Prix.
Dude,
Wait, why would that make me biased?
It's
Oh,
actually.
never mind. Never mind.
I know. I feel. I actually like playing the Grand Prix, but I
I'm just
feel
kidding.
it's kind of scary to play against.
No, it's dangerous. Yeah, I mean, personally, I'll tell you guys what I do. I put my pawn on e6 on move 2. And I don't mess around with this bishop on c4. If white puts the bishop on c4, I'm putting my pawn on d5 like as quickly as I can, right? Like
Legit D5.
So, no, well, not here, but like if f4, for example, let's say I had a game,
Then
I'll
you see
I
it's
play
coming.
this, and then I'll play d5
Ooh, you
against
just
f4.
save.
White plays
Yeah,
like
yeah,
bishop
yeah.
c4, then you got to prepare it. But I'll put the knight on f6, and I'll put the pawn on d5. Just to kind of like, yeah, shut down this bishop. But I'm not saying you guys should play this one. I'm just saying this is what I'm used to.
No, I know.
Is you guys are playing the dragon, and you should stick to setups that are kind of more along the lines of what you're
Actually,
normally doing.
Can I ask your viewpoint on something, Kostya?
Yeah.
Do you think it's better for a person, because I've been rotating every few months, but I've been kind of doing the hyper accelerated dragon and Nimzo variations or whatever. I'm just kind of trying to gain, doing it and then adjusting based on what I see.
Mhm.
Do you think it's actually smarter to do that once you kind of find out what you really like? Or is it smarter to kind of play counter openings that when I see this person doing this as white, I play this as black? Like, what do you think is the smartest way?
Oh, okay. So, right, I don't think those are the only two options, but I'll say that, yeah, playing
Okay,
counter
sure.
openings is not a good idea. It's not like rock, paper, scissors. It's not like if someone plays some opening, you play another opening, like you just win the game. Like, you still have to play good moves. So you should be choosing openings that give you positions where you're capable of finding good moves. Right, so I think
Okay.
it should depend very little on what the opponent is doing, and you should choose openings based on the kinds of positions that you want to get.
Yeah, I just guess I don't have enough of my like own chess identity discovered yet to figure out what like what positions I actually flourish in, or like, how it
Yeah,
is
I
when
mean,
you're.
look, Charlie, you're like a young Pokemon trainer, right? You've just started out, you've caught a few Pokemon, you've seen some cool stuff, but there are like so many other Pokemon out there like you haven't met, and like you might add them to your party. Like you're just starting out, you don't know what kind of trainer you're gonna be. You're gonna be Poison Trainer, Psychic, Fire, Water, maybe a mix. Maybe you can try different
All I
stuff.
know is I feel like a loser because you referenced me with Pokemon. No offense to Pokemon players.
Perfect
Hockey
analogy.
players do not play Pokemon. You,
It's a perfect analogy. Look, you have different openings, different Pokemon you could play. And
I know,
it takes
okay.
experience. It's not like, look, and the Pokemon works the same way. I could hand you a level 80 opening prep file and just say like, here, play this, and it's not going to listen to you, in the battle. It's not going to do well. Right? You're still going to struggle, right? Because it's all about your experience in battles.
yeah.
Right? It's not about the Pokemon you have or how much you've trained them. It's about your experience in the battle.
Yeah. So you're saying that you actually think it's smart to kind of have my two blacks kind of right now, if people just do general chess, like E4
Yeah.
or a D4, is either like Nimzo-ish,
Mhm.
or hyper accelerated dragon-ish. And that's should just be what you recommend me doing.
That's fine if you like it. I would say keep playing it. You can always try different stuff, and
That's what I normally do anyways, but I kind of felt myself not changing.
So here's the
after,
thing. It's like some people, they try an opening for like a game, and they're like, oh, I really want to win this game, so I'm gonna like try this new opening. I don't think that's a good approach. Like if you're trying to win a
I
game,
do
you should
things for
play
months.
an opening that you're most familiar with. But if you want to like learn like a new set of positions, like a new middle game, like you want to learn how to play the French, how to play the Caro-Kann, how to play the Nighthorse Sicilian, just for your own interest, then absolutely, I think it's a very good way to improve your actual chess.
So basically, you're saying there is no clearly counter 100% for things that make it so much easier.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, I mean, most openings are playable, and there's different ways black can respond, and then you get a game. Yeah, at some point you just get a game, you just have to play chess. You have to come up with plans, ideas, you got to calculate well. A lot of things go into play. It's a very difficult game, guys. It's not like easy.
No, I know. I think it's one of the biggest things people that don't play chess is they assume it's just a board game. They don't realize it's an addiction that you can need to go to a psychiatrist if you ever want to break.
Exactly, it's an addiction.
All right. So, what was your evaluation? White
So
is much
I would
better?
say it was equal up until H3,
H5.
and then after H5 it's better, but I think it's mainly better if white plays F5. Like if white continues to kind of like dance around
Just
and
do the general Grand
not do
Prix, yeah.
much, then I think black would be okay. But after F5 I would give white an edge. So I don't know how to score this one actually, to be honest.
With that creative, Scott. We're creative, man. We broke
No.
this.
I mean, I see the faults in H5 a lot.
Yeah.
And like I knew it was weakening. I don't know why I played it. I played it because I was essentially just scared of G4, and due to Kostia's pep talk, now I know G4. I ain't scared of that no more.
Yeah, the other interesting thing I was thinking, like, let's say you played A6, white goes G4. Let's say you played H5 in this position. So this would not necessarily be fun for white either, because white is like getting busted on this light
Open
square
and
diagonal.
diagonal.
Yeah, I don't know. If f5, I think maybe... No, this could get very scary, so I'm really not sure about this one, but that is a pawn that white would have to give up.
Wow, you just...
But yeah, no, I would be very, very nervous about going into this as black. This kind of feels like dream Grand Prix territory.
Yeah.
Like everything just comes in, and then knight d5 takes.
Couldn't I also scoop my king up in some positions and then go up to
Yep.
h5?
Mm-hmm. For sure, yeah. So, I don't know, maybe f5 is kind of a nice response anyway.
You almost gave me a hook. Or you did give me a hook. By giving me the pawn to grab.
Oh, you have something much better than a hook. Yeah, you have a mating square.
Yes. Before kids.
So... Yeah. Overall, though, I thought it was a very interesting game. This early knight a5 made sense to me. Go after the light square bishop.
I did the right thing by going back with the bishop, though, right?
I think this
Or
was
should I try to
okay.
save?
Yeah, I mean, this one I wasn't sure about, because I don't know if white really wants to trade off the bishops
No.
necessarily.
And I thought I ought to be helping him develop in a simply mind frame, like a
Yeah.
simple.
So I like bishop b3 because then you kind of get this open a file for your rook, and that was definitely useful for white, I think, in this position.
That was why I did it. If he took.
Yeah. No, I think it was a decent decision. I was also thinking about just like castling here. I'm not totally sure if you can allow this, but maybe this is an interesting structure as well, because you kind of get full control over this d5 square, and you get pressure on the d file. It'd be kind of a different structure. So this one you wouldn't really necessarily be playing for the attack here. You would kind of just be playing in the center, like b3, bishop b2, rook ad1, rook fe1.
Oh, but then I have that strong diagonal.
I mean, I kind of looked at this as a possibility, and I understand like the strengths of all that. And maybe I'm playing this, in a subjective fashion as opposed to objective. But generally speaking, when someone's playing the Grand Prix attack, they're looking to attack and kind of just dislodging them from that idea. Even if the position is good for them, might not necessarily be what the style of play that they want. I don't know if that's an idea.
Yeah, it might
Or
not
if
be
you
like such a big deal. Yeah, I don't know. At a certain level, it's like people get more universal, and they're like, okay, if you give me space advantage, I'll take the space advantage. If you give me an attack, I'll try to attack. But yeah,
In the end, I just want to win.
possible.
So.
Well, you got to start working hard, guys.
Yeah, we're not working hard enough.
You got to be tired, the end of every training session. Got to be.
Do you realize it's 12:11
exhausted.
and I got work tomorrow?
Well, I hope you're
It's past
tired.
midnight. I'm like, sacrifice. I got black
exhausted.
circles under my eyes. You can't see, but you probably can see in the photo. Yeah,
Good.
that's actually not the Photoshop or anything. That's my black eyes from not sleeping from studying chess all night.
Very good. Yeah, we had a lot of questions in chat about that. Like, why does Charlie have black eyes? It's all people could talk about at some point.
I will be doing another study session, just so everyone knows. Tonight.
Oh, what time tonight?
9 p.m. I'm going to be doing color complexes with Chess Maestro again.
Nice.
Chess stock. Yeah, I did it last night. I don't know if you saw it.
I saw a little bit.
Yeah,
I like to check in and see how you're doing. Yeah. No, Scotty's been working hard at nights and learning new
Redoing
ideas.
That course.
Yeah, but I hope you're playing regularly as well. You guys got to be playing too.
I've been trying to play more.
Good.
Yeah.
I creep on you. The last games you have are all bullet games from the bullet tourney.
What are you talking about? Last. Huh?
No, I always look at you, and I saw that the last games I saw you playing were a bunch of bullet games from.
Yeah,
the
no.
night.
That's what I have time for with a child. And if I'm if I'm not like doing like a study session, then I'm doing bullet with because it's hard to play a longer game with a kid. But
What I've been doing with Chess Maestro, my buddy Muhammad, is doing huge puzzle sessions
Nice.
where we're just trying to improve puzzles.
Okay, but Scotty,
And
like,
he helps me just slow down.
do you like bullets? Remember, bullet is not any form of chess. It's not even like 1% help. It's just like zero.
Okay.
If anything, it reinforces bad. Like you gotta make sure that you're not letting it affect.
Oh, I'm such a bad person.
regular-
I'm such a bad person.
Why are you a bad person, Charlie?
Because you're like flexing, and I'm just like, yeah, playing a lot of bullet.
Yeah, he
threw you under
tattled.
the
He
bus
tattled on
hard.
you.
I threw you so hard
Yeah.
under the bus, but I'm also jealous because you get all this coaching you.
Now,
practice sessions. You
let
get
me
a
be
lot.
clear. I get that it's very hard to manage your time, especially with like a newborn. So if you don't have
Yeah.
time to play, so be it. But let's not pretend like bullet is any kind of substitute for like
No,
actual.
I never said it was.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
It's just fun. It's just
Yeah,
something.
just for fun.
It's just something. Well, and like sometimes, like the only thing I get from it is testing out some opening
No,
ideas. Like I'm
you
talking
don't get
the
it.
first
You
4
don't get
movies.
that from bullet.
No. Okay.
You're
no,
not
wait.
testing anything because you don't have time to test it. The clock is under a minute.
All right.
Nothing to be gained. Nothing.
Dude, I'm banning Charlie. Time out, Charlie. You're timed out, Charlie.
No, but I don't. I just, if I don't have time to play a game, I will just do puzzles, and then like I'd rather do puzzles than
I do so many
rush and play a
puzzles.
game.
Have you not seen how many puzzles I do?
I know. I'm catching up. I almost hit
Yeah.
2,000. Okay.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't think
catching up
puzzles
to your butt.
is the problem. I think just, this is kind of just an issue specific to Scott. Just has to find more time to play, which is very hard. I mean, it's a difficult issue. Like lots of people have this problem. I have this problem
I
too.
think
Like
it's
I'm
almost
not able
easier
to
to
play,
play-
like before
Hold
a
on,
tournament.
he's talking, Charlie. You don't have what you said?
I often don't have enough time either to like play chess before an event, but it's very important. That's why I speak to it. It's
Right.
just like
Right.
you got to practice the thing that you're trying to get better at.
Right. No, and I haven't. You
Yeah.
can look at my rapid games. I've been practicing
Good.
rapid.
You definitely play more than you used to.
Yeah, like my last rapid games, I played a bunch on the 20th. Now I need to analyze them. That's something I don't do,
Mm.
or do enough of. But yeah.
Yeah, game analysis very important. All right, guys, let's wrap it up there. Good training session today. I think we got a lot done. We went through a lot today. I'm very happy with our progress.
No, it was fun. I gotta get over the like I'm playing a buddy. I should play differently. It's kind of a weird thing.
Yeah, just try to play normal. I mean, that's the point of this
Especially if
exercise.
it's
Like,
unrated, I noticed.
there's no winner. You're playing 10 moves, so you can actually like. You should just be trying to play.
Oh
good
no, there
moves.
was a distinct winner. There was a distinct winner, and who was up, who was winning, who was everything.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think
put a
so.
journal of Scotty versus Charlie games.
Mhm.
All right, Charlie. The only reason you're up on games is because of bullet and because I'm slow.
We haven't played Bullet in forever. First of all,
All right. But if we look at our other games, our rapid games, I'm way up on you.
no, you're not.
Yes, I am.
All right, who are we rating?
No, you're not, kid. You're drunk.
Gosh,
Who are we rating?
for this we rating.
yeah, we're done here. It was a great session, guys. But yeah, it's.
I like it, Mitch. Thank you, Kostya, for joining us today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Uh,
It's always a great time.
Do we get like stars?
it was fun.
We don't
You
need
guys
stars.
both get
I need-
3 stars.
sticker.
3 stars for
I need
today.
Intrinsic motivation, Scotty.
Yeah, three-
Intrinsic motivation.
3
I
Michelin stars
need-
for each of you. How about that?
Thank you. I would like a diploma of whatever. The one from Searching for Bobby Fischer. I would like that one. And
Sure, I'll go print some.
Scotty, you
3 out
crazy.
of 5. Oh my God, Mitch. At least it's not 3 out of 10. It's probably what Kostya meant. You can rate someone. You can just stop.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out. We're gonna rate Chessweave. I think there's a lot of Arena Kings going on, but I think Arena Kings is gonna be ending soon. So Yeah, let's raid. Oh,
I
maybe
gotta
we'll raid
look at
Min.
freaking
Min's
my-
doing well. And he's
Oh, Min?
he's on the
Yeah,
unicorns. Yeah. Let's go corns. All right, we'll raid Min.
I like it.
Just show him some support.
And I'm gonna look up Scotty's profile to see how many rabbit games he played against him.
All right, guys, drop Minley a follow. We'll catch y'all next time.
All right,
Hook 'em,
thank you.
hook 'em corns. Hook 'em corns. Draw some emotes. All right, see you guys.
See ya.